Ever wonder how a pencil is made? Not an iPhone, not a computer, just a simple pencil. Well, neither have I, but that's not going to stop me from making a video about it. Pencils are daily common objects that we use throughout our daily common lives. We don't see the work that goes into making these pencils, so I'm going to show you. Pencils and their connection to globalization. What makes a pencil a pencil? It primarily has to do with the structure of a pencil and how it is made. The pencil has three distinct parts: the lead, which is what you use to write with, the body, and the end, which is where you erase your mistakes of the past. At least the ones that are erasable. We'll take a turn at each one. Side note, because pencils are made in slightly different ways between manufacturers, all my descriptions are based on overall manufacturing practices for pencils and not just a single method of one pencil company. The lead. The lead is a long, thin piece inside the body of the pencil, made out of graphite and clay. The more clay added, the harder this inner piece becomes. The majority of graphite is extracted from China, India, Brazil, Mexico, and Canada in massive open ore pits. It is then transported to Ukraine and Norway for processing to be turned into pencil lead. The body. The body is from a specific type of wood found on cedar trees, easy enough to shape and cut, but strong enough to last and withstand the pressures exerted by the hand. Cedar wood can be found in Canada, United States, Greece, Turkey, and Lebanon, but the primary source of cedar for pencils is in British Columbia. To insert the lead shaft into the body of the pencil, manufacturers take the cedar wood, cut it into thin strips, then split those strips in half. After creating a minor divot for the lead to slide into, the two strips are compressed together and held together by glue, meaning glue is another necessary part of the body of the pencil. Glue is made using the bones and tissues of animals, leftovers from slaughterhouses. The parts are soaked and boiled together, after which chemicals including alum or acid remove impurities in the glue. The leading glue manufacturers include Germany, China, the United States, Japan, South Korea, Italy, Netherlands, and France, with Germany being the #1 exporter of glue, accounting for 18% of all glue exported, followed by China at a close 17% as of 2020. The end of a pencil. Now, the end of a pencil comes in two parts: the casing and the eraser. The casing is made of aluminum, a lightweight metal. It can easily be molded into the circular shape of a pencil end. The process of extracting aluminum is similar to that of graphite with one additional phase. Because aluminum tends to mix with other metals to extract aluminum, manufacturers heat the ore that contains aluminum, called bauxite ore, to 2000 degrees Celsius, allowing aluminum to melt off. It is primarily mined from China, Mozambique, Russia, India, and Canada. The eraser is primarily made of rubber, with a little bit of sulfur mixed in to create what is known as vulcanized rubber. Natural rubber comes from rubber tree plantations only found in tropical regions with higher levels of precipitation. The biggest leader in rubber trees is Malaysia. The sulfur used on the eraser comes from mining sites including Poland, Russia, Ukraine, the US, and Turkmenistan. The reason why sulfur is included in the composition of erasers has to do with the chemical properties of natural rubber. Natural rubber by itself is classified as a thermoplastic, meaning that it changes shape under heat and can be molded. The problem occurs when one is erasing their mistakes of the past. The friction used between the rubber and the graphite to tear graphite off the page causes heat between the two surfaces, causing the rubber to melt. To solve this, manufacturers added sulfur to transform eraser heads into thermoset, meaning that the eraser head now has a permanent shape that can't be transformed through heat. During this modern day and age, however, more and more erasers are turning from vulcanized rubber to synthetic rubber due to its longevity and cost reduction. Putting it all together, each of these raw resources on its own does not make a pencil. So where do these resources go to be constructed into pencils? In truth, worldwide, but not evenly distributed. China and Germany make up the bulk of most pencil manufacturing. Not by coincidence, China remains the #1 exporter for vulcanized rubber erasers by a huge margin in the global market, a key ingredient for creating the modern-day pencil. Why am I telling you all of this? Why would anyone care? Why do I care? Who cares? What's the point? Well, let's layer our maps on one another, starting with all the graphite excavators plus exporters, the major countries containing the manufacturers that take graphite and combine it with clay to create the lead for the pencils, countries that produce cedar wood for the body of the pencil, the largest glue exporters to help assemble the body, the primary suppliers of aluminum to hold the eraser, the biggest natural rubber exporter, Malaysia, the places where sulfur is extracted to be used for vulcanizing rubber into a workable eraser, and the two largest producers of pencils that combine all of these resources together. Now let's draw all the lines to showcase where all of these resources travel to, and what do we get besides a confusing map drawn by a madman. We visually see the idea of globalization, the interconnectedness of multiple countries from around the world through trade. To create something as ordinary, boring, and plain as a pencil, this has to happen first. Think about that for a moment. The majority of pencils made and manufactured, their materials come from 22 different countries around the world, probably more considering that I haven't even begun to talk about the paint for pencils or the new synthetic rubber for erasers made using chemical names I can't even pronounce. The point is this: because of globalization, we as humans have access to every imaginable resource on the planet, except for certain ones we've almost exhausted already, like whales. Technology develops at such an impressive rate because we have access to the materials to create that technology. If this is what it takes to create something as simple as a pencil for mass manufacturing, imagine how connected the globe has to be to gather the immense variety of resources to create a single phone. If I were to change my video main idea to be centered around phones, it would be hours long. I'm already running out of time just by talking about a pencil. In summary, globalization leads to connection. Connection leads to exchange of resources. Those exchanges, in turn, lead to a greater variety of available materials. That variety leads to greater developments in technology and mass manufacturing, such as the modern-day pencil. Without globalization, we might still have pencils, but they might be missing eraser tips or have a worse lead interior due to lack of access to graphite or a number of things. Globalization is necessary for technological advancements in the same way that technological advancements lead to globalization. What a cycle to witness. So there you have it, pencils and their connection to globalization. Thank you for watching, whether you were required to or not.